A very good and glad morning, children. In earlier classes, we have learnt about India's relief features, and today we are going with the climate of India. So, now before getting into this chapter of climate of India, let us first discuss or let us first come to an understanding what is climate. What is climate? This word, very often we come across this word, very often we hear it. What is climate? It's nothing but the earth. It is surrounded. The earth is surrounded by a layer of gases, which is called atmosphere, isn't it? And the state of atmospheric condition of the elements like temperature, rainfall, atmospheric pressure, humidity, precipitation, all these various elements are there, various factors are there. So the atmospheric condition, so the atmospheric condition of the elements like temperature, rainfall, humidity, atmospheric pressure, so all these things they are called as weather. That atmospheric condition of these elements, it is called as weather. It is called as weather. Today we say the weather is cool or the weather is hot, we say. So this weather is nothing but it is the atmospheric condition of the elements of a particular place. And this weather is a very short term word because the weather fluctuates. Now it may be hot, later on 1 hour, after 1 hour it may be cool. So it fluctuates. And suppose if these elements, when we make a study of these elements, this pattern of changes or pattern of these elements over a large area for a long time means not less than 30 years. If we make a study of that and find out the situation or find out the atmospheric condition of the elements for a large area for a long period, then that is called as climate. That is called as climate. Did you understand, children, what is climate? Climate is nothing but this is this is nothing but the condition of the atmospheric condition of the elements like temperature, rainfall, humidity, precipitation, or atmospheric pressure, all such things over a large area for a long time. That is called as climate. Okay, children. So now climate it refers to such conditions over a large area and for a duration also which will be long, and sometimes this will be changing the whether the elements also will be changing, but the basic pattern remains change. Now for example we say India has such a type of climate, or Telangana has such and such a type of climate. So it means that there will be changes, but the basic structure, the basic foundational structure will be same. Okay, children, that is climate. And now if you see in your textbook on page number 45, you can see some graphs. You can see some graphs which just resembles like your parabola or hyperbolas in your mathematics. So if you see, these are nothing but these are the graphs that show you the climatic conditions of the various places for over a specific period, and such graphs are called as they are climographs or climatographs. They are climographs, or they are also called as climatographs. So climographs or climatographs are nothing but they are the graphs that are drawn in order to show us the climate of the areas or the climate of certain specific places for over a period. Either it may be monthly or annually. That will be the graph that will be showing the climate of the various places. Okay, children? Next step. If you see here, you can see the climate that has been. The graph shows the climate at New Delhi and Jaipur, the mean maximum temperature and mean minimum temperature of Delhi and Jaipur. In the same way, here you can see mean rainfall of Leh and Chennai. Because the climate differs. It differs from place to place. Now, let us now get into what are the factors that influence the climate or weather. The factors that influence what are the factors that influence the climatic conditions of any place or any country? For example, take our country in India. What are the factors that affects or that influence the climate? Let us list them out. They are latitude, latitudes. Next, altitude, or we can also call it as relief. The relief features that we have learned earlier in our earlier chapters. So, altitude. Next, in general, you can see land-water relationship, or roughly you can remember as nearness to the sea. Land-water relation. So, land-water relationship, or you can just generally, very roughly called as nearness to the sea. And along with that, so latitudes, altitudes, nearness to the sea, upper atmospheric circulation. Upper atmospheric circulation. Now children, latitude. How latitudes affect our climate? How they influence the climate of any place? Now if you take our globe, or if you take our earth, now you know very well that this is 0 degrees latitude and this is equator, isn't it? And you have various other latitudes. Tropic of Cancer, Arctic Circle, Tropic of Capricorn, Antarctic Circle, you have various latitudes. Now if you see the difference, now if you see the distribution of temperature here, at the region of equator, the place at the equator, the sun's rays fall very vertically, and as such, the rate of insolation here is more. Insolation means incoming solar radiation. Insolation. Insolation means incoming solar radiation. The incoming solar radiation is more at the equator, and as such, the land mass or the area near the equator absorbs more temperature. That means more heat. It absorbs more heat, and as such, it also radiates more heat, and that is why the area that is located near to the equator has more temperature when compared to the areas or when compared to the places that are located towards the poles. As you go away from the equator, that means as you approach to the poles, what happens? The rate of insolation, the incoming solar radiation will be very less, because the ice, they are mostly covered by ice, and ice has these lighter areas, they have more reflective nature, whereas the land has more absorbing nature. And that is why here the heat will be absorbed more, whereas here the heat will be absorbed less. And the absorbed heat will be radiated more here, as the areas that are located, the regions that are located near to the equator are very hot when compared to the regions that are located in the polar region. That means as you move away from the equator, either towards the north pole or south pole, the temperature goes on decreasing. And if you move from poles to equator, the temperature increases. As you are moving from equator to poles, the temperature goes on decreasing. Did you understand, children? Yes. This is how the latitudes affect the climate. That is why any place that is located in different latitudes will have different temperatures. Though they are in the straight line also, though they are vertically straight also, if they are located in different or away, the distance between those regions to equator, if it differs, automatically the temperature also differs. The climate also differs. When temperature differs, automatically the climate differs. And next, coming to the altitude, children. Altitude or relief, what we said, no? Relief. Relief means, in relief what we have learned? We have learned about mountains, plains, plateaus. So mountains, plains and plateaus are nothing but these are the areas that are located at different levels from the mean sea level. At the different altitude from the mean sea level. Mountains are highly elevated. They are very largely above from the mean sea level. Plateaus are in the medium, at a medium level, and whereas plains are at the mean sea level. And that is why as the altitude is changing, even the climate also will change. How it changes, how altitude influences the climate means, from the sea level, from the mean sea level, from the mean sea level, as we are moving above, for every 1,000 meters of ascent, for every 1,000 meters of ascent, there will be a declination of 6 degrees of 6 degrees centigrade temperature. There will be a decrease of temperature. For every 1,000 meters of ascent, 6 degrees temperature will fall. That means as we are moving more above and above, as we are moving higher and higher, the temperature goes on decreasing. Understand? That is why the temperatures for a plain, plateau and mountain areas will be different. Whereas in mountainous areas, the temperature will be very less. As you know, there are some hill stations. There are some hill stations like in South India, if you go Udayatamandalam, Kodaikanal, or in North India, if you go for Nainital, and the other hill stations, Ranikhet, Nainital, Gulmarg, all such are the hill stations, Simla, these are the hill stations which are in the northern India, and there also, as they are located in the hilly regions, the temperature is very less. And as we move up and up, as we move above, then the temperature drops. This is how the altitude also affects largely the climate of any place. That is why if any two regions or if any two cities or towns are located on the same latitude also and the elevation is different, the location is different, then automatically the climate also will differ. Okay, children. And next, coming to the land-water relationship. How land-water relationship affects the climate? Let us see. Yes. Now, totally, if we see our Earth, Earth has land masses, water masses, isn't it? And there is some relationship between the land masses and water masses that is influencing our climate. How it influences our climate, let us see. Land masses, they absorb the heat very fast and they radiate out the heat also very quickly. Whereas water masses, water bodies, they absorb the heat slowly and they release or radiate out the heat also very slowly. That means the duration of absorption and release of heat for the land masses and water masses is different. For example, suppose if sun's day has started, when the sunshine has started, the land becomes hot more quickly when compared to the water. In the same way, during night times, when the sun goes, the sun sets, after that, the land becomes cool quickly, whereas the water gets cool lately. That means getting cooler or getting hotter is fast for land and it is slow for the water body. So as such, what will happen? You can see on page number 47 in figure 4.2. Because of this variation in the getting hot or getting cooler, land breezes and water breezes, or water body breeze or land breeze, like what we call as sea breeze and land breezes are formed. So generally, suppose think that this is land area, this is land, and think that this is water body or sea body somewhere. Now, this land body becomes hot quicker. When this becomes hot quicker, at the same time, water does not become hot. When land becomes hot, water will be still cool enough. When this land becomes hot, the atmosphere above it becomes hot, and as such, what will happen? A warm breezes or hot breezes will be formed. The land breeze will be formed, which is hotter, and hot air goes up. When hot air goes up, what will happen? The cool winds or the cool breezes from the water, they come and occupy this place. Okay, children? So because of this effect, the area which is near to the water, the land area which is near to the water will have a moderate type of climate, whether it is cool or hot. Now, for example, during the cold season, or during think winter season or cold season, or during night times, when land is cool, it will not be cool that much. So it will be a little bit hot. And at that time, what will happen? The sea breeze starts. The sea breeze starts because it is warm enough, it goes up. When it goes up, these cool breezes occupy this area. That means there is a circulation of land breezes and sea breeze in this area. And because of this circulation, the climate will be moderate. Suppose if you take any place which is far away from this water body, then what will happen? The effect will not be as much as it is found here. Did you understand now? That is why the areas, now if you take the coastal areas, now for example in South India we have very large coastal area, and these coastal areas are in contact with the water bodies, and as such they enjoy a moderate type of climate. Whereas you take Delhi, Delhi is somewhere far away from the coastal regions, and as such what will happen? This effect of land breeze or sea breeze is not found there, and as such during the winters Delhi will be very cool because hot breezes from the coastal areas will not flow there, and during summer it is very hot. That means when it is very hot also it is extremely hot, when it is cold also it will be extremely cold, whereas in the areas or in the regions where they are in contact with the water bodies or the coastal areas especially, they enjoy very moderate type of climate. Even during the winter seasons also, during at these coastal areas, the temperature may not go less than 20 degrees, whereas in other places which are far away from the coastal areas, there the temperature may get down in winter season, it may get down even lesser than 10 degrees also. So this is how the nearness to the sea or the land-water relationship affects the climate. In the same way, upper atmospheric circulation. If you go for the upper atmospheric circulation, the climate of India, it is also affected by this movement of upper air currents, which are known as jet streams. Actually, in the atmosphere, at the almost at the height of or at the rate of or at the elevation of 1200 kilometers or so, very fast moving jet currents. Air will be moving in at a speeder rate, at a faster rate, which are called as jet currents. So jet currents are these jet currents also when they move, wherever the jet currents move, they make the neighboring area will be cooled down. So during such instance, what will happen? These jet currents, which almost will be moving at the rate of 184 kilometers per hour in the summer season, and almost 110 kilometers in summer season and 184 kilometers at the rate of 184 kilometers in winter season. They move fast and they create some cold type of what a cold nature around wherever they flow. Then when they come across the clouds, generally these jet streams are formed at about 25 degrees north latitude. 25 degrees north latitude means almost 23 and a half degrees latitude is moving from the middle of our country. So 25 degrees means almost in the central part of our country. And during this flow of the jet streams, the clouds that are present in the atmosphere over that area, they become cool and they give rainfall. So these jet streams, this movement of jet streams also, they create some cool weather or cool condition which creates some which gives rise to some rainfall in that specific areas where they are moving. And next, basing upon these climatic conditions, the India has been given or India has got two main seasons. What are the two seasons? Two main seasons. Actually, how many seasons are there? Only two seasons. But we have learned that we have three seasons like summer season, rainy season and winter season. But generally there are two seasons, hot season and cold season. That is, hot season is called as summer, cold season is called as winter. Okay, so now we shall learn about the seasons where winter season. So climate, and basing upon the climate, we have two seasons. They are winter season and summer seasons. Coming to the winter season, almost this winter season starts from almost November, from the month of November, and it extends up to the month of February. And January will be the coldest month. January will be the coldest month. And during this period, that is winter season period, the northeast trade winds will be blowing upon our country. Northeast trade winds will be blowing upon blowing upon our country, and these northeast trade winds will be mostly dry because they will be moving from land to water body. Land to water body. Now, how I do this show. Suppose if you take this, just please do not laugh at me because it's a very rough structure. So here what is happening is the northeast winds. The northeast winds will be blowing in this direction. They will be blowing in this direction like this. Okay, they will be blowing in this direction, and as they are blowing from land to the sea. They are blowing from land to the sea, and here we have Bay of Bengal, isn't it? Here we have Bay of Bengal. And during this period, that is in the month of November, here a very low pressure belt is formed. As such, these winds that have to blow away, because of this low pressure, what happens? They get diverted this side. Because when low pressure belt is formed, in order to acquire or in order to occupy that, these winds they blow this side and they create a lot of depression here. Depressions means what we say, alpa pedanam, like that we say. No? So like that, here during the month of November, these northeast winds, actually here when they come up to here, they are dry enough because they are moving from land to water. They don't have water, and after coming over the Bay of Bengal, they carry some moisture from Bay of Bengal, and when they come here, they give some rainfall to Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu regions, the Coromandel coast. So they give rainfall in the Coromandel coast here, and during this period here, because of the depression that is formed, various cyclones will be formed, and these cyclones affect mostly the areas of Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, especially the delta region of Andhra Pradesh, that is Godavari Delta, Krishna Delta. These are the regions which are mostly affected because of this. And this is how during the winter season here there will be a rainfall, whereas the remaining part of the country it does not really get any rainfall, because during winter we have very dry, cold and dry weather in this season, and the temperature usually will be very cold. The temperature will be less, and sometimes it drops 10 degrees centigrade also in the central part, that is the Gangetic part, Gangetic plain part, and the central part of the country. It may drop, it goes beyond 10 degrees centigrade also, it goes lesser than 10 degrees centigrade also, and only the coastal regions enjoy the moderate type of climate. And because of this, because of the even the low humidity, the weather generally is present during winter season, and the cyclonic depressions that are formed in the Mediterranean Sea, the cyclonic depressions which are formed in the Mediterranean Sea, that what happened is caused a low moderate rainfall in the northern part, especially over the northern India. And this rainfall during the month of November, the rainfall that occurs in the northern part, because of the depressions that are formed in the Mediterranean Sea, because of that depressions, the northern part of our country, the northern India, it gets some rainfall, and this rainfall is very useful for growing of wheat in the Rabi season. We have two seasons, no? Kharif season, Rabi season. In the Rabi season, for cultivation of wheat, this rainfall is very helpful. Okay, children, and here almost the Coromandel coast it receives the rainfall during, because during the onset monsoon time, here they don't get any rainfall. Only in the retreating season they'll get rainfall, and they get rainfall here. But generally, every year, no year goes damage free in the Coromandel coast because of this northeast monsoon, or because of this trade winds. Okay, children. And next, going to summer. The next season we have is summer season. And during this hot season, as we move from south to north, because in south, because of the coastal areas, because just now as we have discussed, because of the land water relationship, land sea relationship, here even when the temperatures are very heavy also, we enjoy moderate type of climate, that is not so hot. But as we are moving from south to north, as we move from south to north, the temperature increases. And almost the mean temperature sometimes it will be 37 degrees centigrade, and now and then it is even going above 41 and 42 degrees centigrade also in many parts of the country, especially in the northwestern plain, that means the northwestern part of the country. Okay, and even the minimum temperature also will not go below 20 degrees centigrade in the northern country during the summer season. And northern plain experiences very dry and hot winds. The northern plain, that means this area, this region, they experiences very dry and hot winds in summer, which are called as Lu. They are called as Lulu, are nothing but they are the dry and hot winds that blow during summer season in the north plains. Okay, and towards the end of the summer season, there will be pre-monsoon showers in the areas in the Deccan area, especially in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. These pre-monsoon showers means almost in the last week of May or first week of June, you might have observed, you might have experienced some showers, and these are called as pre-monsoon showers. And these pre-monsoon showers we get in the Deccan Plateau, especially in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. And these pre-monsoon showers are very helpful in ripening of mangoes, and that is why those showers are also called as mango showers in peninsular India. They are also called as mango showers. Pre-monsoon showers are also called as mango showers because they are helpful for ripening mangoes in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. And next, coming to the advancing monsoons. What are monsoons? Generally, India is called to have a monsoon type of climate, isn't it? India has monsoon type of climate. We get most of our rains through monsoon. So now we shall see what is advancing monsoon. Advancing monsoon. The other name of advancing monsoon, can you tell me? Advancing monsoons or southwest monsoon. They are called as southwest monsoon. Generally, if you take the globe, take the earth. Now this is, you know very well, this is equator. Huh? Okay, 0 degrees latitude, this is equator. And because of heavy temperatures here, this area, that is from 5 degree north to 5 degree south latitudes, here a low pressure belt is formed. A low pressure belt is formed. And these low pressure belts, here Tropic of Cancer, alternate to the low pressure belt, a high pressure belt will be formed here. Now, this is the subtropical low pressure belt. The winds from subtropical low pressure belt move towards southeast. Southeast means in this direction. In this direction they will be moving. This southeast, in southeast direction, this will be moving. Did you understand? Which forms in the low pressure, subtropical low pressure belt, whatever the winds are formed, these trade winds, they move in the southeast direction. So when they are moving in the southeast direction, here we have our country India. Our India is like this. So when they are moving like this, what happened during that period? That means in the month of April, or during the mid-May, what will happen? Because of the heavy temperatures, because of the hot season here, because of the high rate of insolation, what happens is low pressure belt is formed over the central part of India, central, northern, western and central part of India. A very great low pressure belt is formed because of the heavy temperatures. And when the low pressure belt is formed, automatically what happens is these winds that are moving, they just divert themselves and they turn like this. Understand? Are you able to follow? The winds that are blowing in the southeast direction, they change their direction, and because of the low pressure belt formed, that is in the northern, western and central part of India, where low pressure belt is formed, because of the low pressure belt, these winds that are moving in the southeast direction, they change their direction and they move southwest over India. Understand? And these southwest monsoons, they just go and touch the western Ghats or the western coast of India in the first week of June. That means almost during 1st June, like that. These monsoons or these winds that are carrying water from the Indian Ocean, these winds will move to the southwest direction over India, and they touch the western coast on 1st of June. Understand? And this will create some, in this southwest also, there are two divisions. There are two divisions, which are two branches, which are Bengal branch and West Arabian Sea branch. These two also enter our country during June 1st itself, and they enter. And this Bengal branch, the Bengal branch, and the other one is Arabian Sea branch. The Bengal branch, it touches Bengal, and the plateau there here, and then they travel towards the west and flow over the plains towards the western side, Gangetic plain. They just go touch the Bengal and the plateau there, and then from there they move towards the western side over the Gangetic plain. Whereas the Arabian Sea branch, what happens is, just you see. Now these are the Western Ghats. So this Arabian Sea branch, what will happen is on 1st June, they just go touch this Arabian Western Ghats, and because of this obstruction, they give heavy rainfall here. And after giving rainfall here, they go the other side. By the time they don't have water here, that is why here it will be dry. Again, they collect water from Bay of Bengal, and because of the mountains here, Himalayan mountains are there, no? They go up to here, they give rainfall here, and whatever, because they cannot go the other side, they give rainfall here, and whatever the remaining rainfall they give at the foothills of Himalayan mountains, and the remaining by that time they become dry, and when they come this side at the Thar desert, they don't have water, so this area is dry. So this is the southwest or onsetting monsoon. Got it, children? Now all of you, what is the advancing monsoon or southwest monsoon? I think you have got a very clear idea about it, and in the next session we shall learn about the retreating monsoon. Okay children, thank you, and please do read the lesson